Commander Vance Scott completes final patrol. Story by Lieutenant Zachary Anderson for the Commander, Submarine Group 9. A cold fog clings to the snow-capped mountains that stand guard adjacent to Naval Base Kitsap, Bangor as dark clouds and steady drizzle encroach on the pier. A sleek metal hull emerges on the horizon, flanked by smaller tugs, as a horn pierces the hustle and bustle of sailors and shipyard workers gathered awaiting the arrival of their fellow submariners. A frigid wind cascading off the surface of the Puget Sound is enough to take the breath away from all the spectators save for the sea lions, whose barks echo through the afternoon solitude. Atop the bridge, Commander Vance Scott, the commanding officer of the Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine USS Nebraska, SSBN 739, Blue Crew raises a set of binoculars and sets his sight on his home port at the conclusion of a third and final patrol in command. It was a bittersweet moment for Scott, who was simultaneously focused on piloting the ship safely in low visibility as well as soaking in the emotions of his final moments on the bridge. It was another step in the long and decorated career of an award-winning naval officer. "All of my lasts as a captain were going through my head," said Scott. "Last time going through the Hood Canal, last time blowing the whistle for the families, last time seeing this weather and coming up to the pier. It was a weight off my shoulders. Not a burden. Never a burden, but a weight." Asked what he's most proud of from the patrol, Scott pivots to a discussion of how well the crew performed. "The mark on my legacy is how much I instill my values in the crew so that even after I'm gone, they still want to pursue excellence. What I'm most proud of is all their accomplishments and their willingness to strive for greatness after I'm gone." Inside the gleaming metal skin, smoothly gliding toward line handlers at the pier, are the sailors that make Scott so proud, exemplifying his legacy in their pursuit of mastering their craft. One of those sailors is Electricians Mate, Nuclear, First Class Jeremy Salerno, who played an integral role in the crew's successful completion of a key engineering inspection during the patrol. Operational Reactor Safeguards Examination is an annual exam designed to evaluate the crew's ability to safely operate the nuclear propulsion plant. Conducted by a group of senior naval officers, it's one of the more intensive and consequential inspections for which the crew is responsible. Salerno, as an electrician's mate, is responsible for power generation and distribution for the ship and thus played a key role during the inspection. There were a lot of long hours and stressful moments for the crew, but like their captain piloting the vessel in mist and fog, they met and overcame the challenge. "The character of the crew and drive to succeed really paid dividends during the patrol," said Salerno, reflecting on what he attributes to the crew's success. Another success story from the patrol is Lieutenant J.G. Anastar, who left Bangor as an unqualified junior officer but returned with the gold dolphins indicative of a submariner. The submarine warfare insignia, often referred to as fish due to its distinctive design, is notoriously difficult to earn. It was a process Star began in July 2024 and completed during the patrol after months of rigorous study in addition to her other duties as the communications officer aboard Nebraska. The most challenging part of the process was balancing studying with other duties, like watch, like being a division officer, handling qualifications with a persistently overfilled plate, Star says about the demanding process. The final hurdle to overcome is the fishboard, where prospective qualified submariners are grilled by a panel about warfare tactics and the SSBN mission. The months of studying paid off for Star who, like her captain and her shipmate Salerno, succeeded in the face of a challenge and passed her board. Despite being capable of operating the ship submerged, Star opted to be pinned with her dolphins during a surfaced moment on patrol. "It was a beautiful hot day in Hawaii, and it was that moment, surrounded by the people that I love, that I just felt this huge weight lifted off my shoulders and realized how momentous this event was," said Star describing her pinning. "Life looks a little different now that I'm not studying every spare moment." For some Nebraska sailors, this was the first time operating the ship at sea. That was not the case for Fire Control Technician 2nd Class David Peak, who was about to complete his 7th patrol, all aboard Nebraska. The former civilian cook is now responsible for operating and maintaining advanced electronic equipment and defensive control systems for the SSBN. The experienced submariner has earned the title of both Shellback and Golden Dragon, the former for crossing the equator and the latter for crossing the international dateline. Salty and well-traveled, Peak played a key role during a different inspection, this time testing the same defensive control systems he is tasked with operating. Like his shipmates, Peak's commitment to excellence was critical to the successful evaluation. Back on the bridge, Scott pilots his ship for the final time, right on track despite the adverse weather conditions, demonstrating his ship handling acumen. The emotions are strong as it dawns on him that his 800-plus days of commanding one of our nation's most important and powerful strategic assets, and the brave men and women who breathe life into its controls, are rapidly ending. His advice to his former self is simple. Embrace every moment. Treat this like this is the last job you'll ever have because this is the most impactful thing you'll ever do in your career.